job, make sure you're really good at something else too.
Exactly.
That was great. That was great first year advice, because I was just like, let me just do like 3 more things I enjoy doing. But if you enjoy everything you're doing, is great. But if you don't, And then the worst thing about it that can happen is that, you know what I'm saying, to be in sports and to be, I don't think that having to love watching sports is a prerequisite of being good at sports. In fact, I know that's not the case. But the thing about it is, if you enjoy it and you enjoy the game, you like it, but then it becomes work, you also lose a piece of something that you really enjoyed in a genuine way too. And then you got to go back through that process of finding it, try to recapture the love, or just figure out what else is going to go into that. So it's a hard journey, man. I think that that's a really real outlook on what it is to really be in the game and to really know the sacrifices that go with it.
No, it is, because I'm in a place, the last couple of years I've been in this place where, all right, Kobe Bryant passed away a year ago. That was he was the only reason I watched the Lakers. I was a huge Laker fan because of Kobe Bryant. And so when he passes, he retired a couple years before that, right? And so I still was watching him. We get LeBron, so I'm still like, all right, we still can kind of be relevant. But after that, it's like I don't really watch or follow NBA basketball like that. I started to like Steph Curry and what they was doing with Golden State, because I just kind of like Steph Curry. But other than that, it's like I'm not a super fan like I was. NFL, when the Rams left St. Louis, it wasn't like I was this huge Rams fan, but that's the team I covered. That's the team I played for. And so I had an affinity for that team, no matter what happened to them, who was on the team. I was watching, I was reading. But now that they're in LA and I'm back home in St. Louis, who's my team? I don't have a team anymore. So the last few years has been really odd for me when it comes to professional sports and just my fandom, right? So
like, what's it like?
Trying to get it back.
What's it like, checking out the league? Like, do you watch it regularly? Like, do you, pop in, watch it here and there? Like, what's it like to be in the league, have that time there, then be out of it and be like, how am I going to engage with this now at this point?
No, when you first get out of it, you watching it every day. You watching it religiously. You own it. You own it, bro. Like it's a very small percentage of guys who just become turned off because it's like your body is still wired to kick off, pre-game, post-game, locker room. This what they doing. Your body just still wired in that manner, and you never kind of lose that until you really just 7 years out, 7 years out, and you just kind of like, it's cool. And then I had a brother, my brother played in the NFL too. So I was watching his games and watching for the love of him as well. And so that was another thing. I had a team because of whatever team he played for. That was my team, right? And so that's just kind of how they go. But you never lose it, man. But I don't watch it as intently. What I do watch is highlights. What I do go back and watch is a YouTube recap, like a 15-minute YouTube recap of a game. I watch that religiously, but I maybe get 1 or 2 games a weekend. I still watch a lot of college football though.
Okay, that's an awesome segue.
You already know what I want to go into.
Go for it, bro.
NIL, man. I'm trying to figure out how to sponsor like a Division III like school with the for the SOLC Network. I don't care if it's Lemoyne on whatever. We're trying to get on their jerseys. What would NIL have been for you and kind of like do you envision like what it would have been? Or is it so far away from you you couldn't even envision how NIL would have been for you?
Man, NIL for a guy like me who ended up freshman year being a freshman All-American, broke the freshman record for most catches in a season, broke the freshman record for kick return yard. I had broke all these records as a freshman. So sophomore year would have been bananas.
You would have caked up.
I would have been caked up. And I wouldn't have had to leave the state of Wisconsin to get caked up. I would have been getting chunked off by people in Wisconsin. Right? I wouldn't need no national deal. I'd give me a Wisconsin deal. and be good. I need a car. Let me go get that. You know what I'm saying?
I need an apartment.
Hey,
no,
B.
I don't need no apartment because the school paying for that. I need something else. I don't want to live. No, I need a car. I need a check.
But see, you make a good point though, man. Like when I remember, what was it? It had to be 8 months ago. People was talking about Luther Burden decommitting, you know, and being out there. And he's number one wide receiver in the country. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's going to be a sweepstakes now with the way that goes. But when people is like, he's not going to go to Mizzou, he's going to go to Georgia, go to this. I say that at-home money is going to come from all over the place. So like one thing I thought, and I'm curious, you know, what you say about Wisconsin, what that looks like is how do you think that access to NIL money on that local level, on that regional level could impact national recruiting?
It could impact it big time. I mean, even from a HBCU standpoint as well, smaller school standpoint, because every school has donors.
Mm-hmm.
Every school got big pocket alumni, and if a school is smart, they'll build out an NIL division. You only need one person to run it, 3 or 4 people that's helping with social media, helping with vetting deals, helping with the compliance aspect of it. And now we're going out, reaching out to our alumni donor base and saying, hey, you got a podcast network, you want to sponsor this, let's do it, because it's definitely out there and it's definitely opportunities. And now it actually, people was like, this is going to make the Power 5 even more powerful. I'm like, not really.
Don't have to.
Yeah, because I could be a smaller school if I'm a school like Lindenwood, let's use Lindenwood, for example. They're right in the middle. They're a powerhouse in their division. Mm-hmm. They're pretty successful in their division. If it's a kid that's local here to the St. Louis area, and he not going, he ain't going to Georgia, but you competing against Northern Iowa, a MAC school or something like that, oh, bro, we can chunk you off with $25K a year. You might as well come here. We're going to get 2 or 3 deals for you. We're going to chunk you off this amount of dollars a year, and it's all above board and legal. We're going to put you in gear. We're going to get you a whip. Like, let's go. What's up? Or you can go over there and you're not going to get none of these deals because you're just a small fish in a big pond. Mm-hmm. And it's just how it is. You can use it as a recruiting tool but most institutions don't get caught up to the game fast enough. The thing is, the only advantage of the Power 5 is they gonna acclimate to the game faster because they was already
right.
It's just
making our thing legal now. Thank you. But that's the only advantage. Right. That's the only advantage.
So what, like with the NIL money coming into play, that's one thing. But then with the NCAA changing over the rules as far as the transfer portal and how quickly that blew up at the same time, it feels a little bit like we got a free fall, like a Royal Rumble in college football right now, where, Daryl, you joke about it. You say that somebody can play a different school every year, have a different
that's a real
situation
thing
going on. But in reality,
you can't play for 3 schools in 5 years.
So like the question I asked you about that is like, how do you think these two things happening at once? Like, are we seeing like a very raw version of it right now that's going to get refined, or is it going to kind of stay like this?
It's most certainly going to get refined because a lot of these transfers at this point are driven by it's a new opportunity. I can recapture a market on my NIL, or I could go here. And I think the NCAA, once again, they're screwing us because they did this on purpose, man. Oh, y'all want it to be a free fall? Well, we're gonna make everything a free fall. Now y'all looking crazy, right? Mm-hmm. And they just have no culpability for anything. They just don't take ownership of anything now. And it's like, come on, man, like be the structure that you're supposed to be and put some structure around this transfer stuff, because it doesn't really make sense. A lot of these guys doing this stuff. I mean, you see the kid, and I hope he go to Wisconsin, but the kid, Caleb Williams, why are you leaving Oklahoma? You beat out the starter. You took his job, and now you're going to leave the school where you just took the job because the coach go to USC or it's some other opportunity. Like, what are we doing, man? Like, come on.
And the crazy thing about Caleb, when you talk about Caleb, the thing about it is, it's nuts too, is that Spencer Rattler leaves. So now Oklahoma is just sitting there with absolutely nothing. And like
now Oklahoma is screwed.
Yeah, like they got to rebuild. I just saw on the bottom line here at ESPN on in front of me that they top wide receiver recruit just decommitted too. Like it's
Oklahoma's in
crazy
trouble in general.
what's going on. Football, one of the strong things football's got is that it's got continuity though. Is that because of the fact it's going to take 3 years away from high school to get to the league, no matter what, you got some sense of continuity there. But what really hurt college basketball was that loss of continuity, because guys are coming in, they're leaving, they're going to the league real quick. Guys weren't even messing with college for a little while there. It's going to get really, really hard to understand the situation, the place that college football is in with all of this movement. And I'm not here to say that it's right or it's wrong or anything. I think opportunity, we're in a free market, world here. You should have the access to opportunity. But B, to your point, though, I absolutely think that you got to have some parameters for that free movement. Otherwise, it's going to get completely out of control.
And also, if you think about it, though, too, like statistically, I was looking at a thing that said half the people that transfer from Division I schools they didn't get as many looks as they thought they were. They had to go down to FCS because they thought they was going, everybody, it was 1,000 people in the portal. Everybody ain't getting picked up for another school, and some of them had to go down to FCS.
Because you got to understand, even just because you transfer it don't mean I got an extra scholarship. We still only get a certain amount of scholarships every year. We still only get a certain amount of scholarship players on a roster. So in NCAA in college football, I think it's like 75 or 80.
Yeah.
And if we don't have no more scholarships to give out, what you gonna do?
Is that where the NIL scholarships kick in at?
The NIL scholarship.
Well, you would assume yes. That would be all right. You can still come here and not be on scholarship, and we're gonna have somebody pay for your joint. But it's like, I think the NCAA still needs to put some structure around it where it's like you can only transfer once every,
this cast is in transfer 5 times, Brandon. And they like 35 years old out there still playing. Like for real. Like it's cast is like 20. No, for real. It's a cat that's 28 at Air Force right